The 15th Amendment, a narration and presentation by Cameron Doko. May 18th, 1860, Chicago, Illinois. The Republican National Convention has been deliberating on who to nominate for president, and at this point they've narrowed it down to two candidates, the 51-year-old Kentucky-born lawyer Abraham Lincoln and the just-turned 60-year-old New York-born Senator William H. Seward. Lincoln, also known as Honest Abe, was a former Illinois representative who, although not incredibly well known, was the more moderate candidate of the two. Seward, a radical abolitionist who never seemed to be happy, was an experienced politician who many thought would win the nomination. Ultimately, though, Lincoln's moderate nature and ability to somewhat appeal to Southerners would win him the nomination, where he would go on to win the presidency. January 1st, 1863. Whereas on the 22nd day of September, in the year of our Lord 1862, Hey, what's this speech about? It's the Emancipation Proclamation. Basically, Lincoln is declaring that all slaves in Confederate territories are free.
Oh, does that mean that soon all slaves will be free?
Yep, he's shifting the focus of the Union Army from preserving the Union to fully dismantling slavery. That the executive government of the United States, including the military and naval authorities thereof, will recognize and maintain the freedom of said persons. Lincoln's presidency began about a month before the Civil War, with the states' rights to permit slavery being the source of the conflict. Although Lincoln stood by his belief that preserving the Union was his priority, his hand was eventually forced, and on January 1st, 1863, he issued the Emancipation Proclamation. This would set the stage for freedom of all slaves through the 13th Amendment and their citizenship through the 14th Amendment. The year is 1869 and Reconstruction is underway. Ulysses S. Grant, Abraham Lincoln's top general during the Civil War and advocate for Reconstruction, is set to be sworn in as president in a week. African Americans, still without the right to vote, viewed his election as a step in the right direction in their fight for equality, and Congress shifted its focus from impeaching incumbent President Andrew Johnson to beginning to fulfill the agenda of Grant. February 25th, 1869. So I've been thinking, slavery is illegal, right? Yeah. And African Americans are citizens now, right? Yeah. And male citizens can vote, right? Yeah. So shouldn't African American men be allowed to vote too? Genius! Congress began working on the 15th Amendment, prohibiting states from withholding the right to vote from African Americans, and on February 25th, the House of Representatives took a vote on it. At this point, there were still very few Democrats in Congress, as the southern states of the Confederacy were slowly being reintegrated into the Union. As a result, the amendment passed easily, with 143 Republicans voting in favor of it compared to 39 Democrats voting against it alongside 3 Republicans. Representatives of other parties voted 1 in favor and 2 against, for a total vote of 144 to 44 in the House. Then, the bill was sent to the Senate, where on February 26th, 39 Republicans voted in favor of it and 8 Democrats voted against it alongside 5 Republicans, for a total Senate vote of 39 to 13. Most Republicans in both chambers who voted against the bill did so because they did not believe it protected the rights of African Americans to vote strongly enough. These Republicans would eventually be proven correct, as southern states issued literacy tests that African Americans, most with no form of education, were usually unable to complete. At some polling stations, if an African American was able to complete the test, poll workers would still find ways to invalidate their responses, using unwritten rules pertaining to things such as line shape or lettering to prohibit educated African Americans from voting. Another challenge to the 15th Amendment were poll taxes, a fee to vote that southern states knew African Americans would be unable to pay as a result of the low wages that they were offered, if any. These poll taxes would be further strengthened by the ruling in the 1876 court case United States v. Reese, where Chief Justice Morrison Waite ruled in an 8-1 ruling that poll taxes were not in violation of the 15th Amendment. This judgment would not be reversed until 88 years later with the 24th Amendment, which outlawed poll taxes in federal elections. It would be expanded upon in the 1966 case of Harper v. Virginia State Board of Elections, which ruled that the amendment also applied to state elections, leading to poll taxes being outlawed across the country. In summary, the 15th Amendment was a direct result of the election of Abraham Lincoln and the successor to the 13th and 14th Amendments. It prohibited polling centers from discriminating based on race or prior servitude, and although it was challenged early on, it was reinforced by the 24th Amendment and serves as a symbol of the power of democracy.